Good afternoon, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for August 17th, 2014, around 4:15 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. Been a little bit of a sunny and cloudy day. Looked like it was going to downpour for a minute or so, but we avoided some showers. It's in the mid-70s and stuff. And get out and enjoy these nice summer days because they're fading fast, and I think it's going to be a long, cold winter in this part of the United States. I think we could see frost by September, in my opinion. Some news to report: Sean Marion's on the verge of signing a deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers to play alongside LeBron James. The Cavaliers look like they're the odds-on favorite to win the Eastern Conference in the NBA. We'll see about that. And that's about it for the news. My next subject is about former professional wrestler Mike Rotunda. Mike had a long career in the world of sports entertainment, and his famous gimmick was Irwin shyster, also known as IRS in the WWE. He had a nice 4-year run as playing a corrupt tax man, and it was a long-lasting gimmick. Mike's career started. He was actually an amateur wrestler at Syracuse University. He was trained for a professional career by Dick Byers, and he made his professional wrestling debut on October 22nd, 1981. For the first few years of Mike's career, he wrestled in Championship Wrestling from Florida and Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. He won the Mid-Atlantic television title once, and he won the CWF Tag Team Championships with Barry Windham on a number of occasions. Mike Rotunda is and Barry Windham are brother-in-laws. Around late 1994, Mike and Barry went to the WWE, and they became a tag team called the US Express, and they won the WWE Tag Team Championships on 2 occasions. And they came out to the theme song Real American. They were the first wrestlers to use that theme song. Not Hulk Hogan, it was Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham. And after having a year-long run in the WWE, Mike and Barry briefly surfaced in the AWA as the US Express, but they didn't have success. Then Barry went to Jim Crockett Promotions, and Mike returned to the WWE, and he teamed with Dan Spivey to form the new US Express, but they had very little success. They were basically a jobber tag team on house shows to the team, to the Hart Foundation and Demolition. Around the late winter of 1987, Mike bolted to WWE to go to Championship Wrestling from Florida. He was the final Florida heavyweight champion for Championship Wrestling from Florida into the fall of 1987, when Championship Wrestling from Florida was bought out by Jim Crockett Promotions. And that's when, about that time, Mike Rotunda turned heel for the first time, and he joined Kevin Sullivan, the Games Master, and the Varsity Club. And Mike won the NWA television title from Nikita Koloff around in January of 1988, and he had close to a 1-year run with the TV championship. Mike was part of a faction with Rick Steiner, and they were managed by Kevin Sullivan. They were called the Varsity Club. I thought the Varsity Club was an underrated heel stable, was a mid-card heel stable. I think that was an underrated heel stable. It got a kind of a mid-card push, and Mike had feuds with Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, Nikita Koloff, and a couple of others. And by Starrcade 1988, Mike dropped the NWA TV title to Rick Steiner, the dog-faced gunman who turned face after he was booted out of the Varsity Club. Dr. Death, Steve Williams turned heel, and they threw Rick Steiner out of the Varsity Club. Rotunda regained the television title 2 months later at Chi-Town Rumble 1989, but he dropped it at a WCW Saturday Night Television tape in March to Sting. And one of the Clash of Champions, Mike Rotunda and Steve Dr. Death Williams won the WCW Tag Team titles by being Road Warriors with help for a fast count with referee Teddy Long. He counted 3, but it was actually 2. That was the start of a heel turn for Teddy Long to become a manager. But about a couple months later, Mike and Dr. Death were stripped of the WCW Tag Team titles, and then they feuded with one another again. And like the Varsity Cup was disbanded. Like they were phasing Kevin Sullivan out as like a wrestler manager to go as a broadcaster, and Mike actually dropped down the cards. He actually was kind of basically a preliminary wrestler for a while, and he actually was famous for around this period. He wrestled Tommy Rich on WCW Saturday Night, and that was the final match refereed by longtime NWA referee Tommy Young, who suffered a career-ending injury in that match. Around 1990, Mike turned face, and he was given the nickname Captain Mike. And it was like a gimmick, but that went nowhere. At the end of 1990, around fall of 1990, Mike turned heel again, and he became Michael Wall Street. He was like a corrupt Wall Street businessman, and he was managed by Alexander York, who's famous for later on becoming Marlena and Terry Runnels in the WWE. That character was undefeated in WCW before Mike's contract expired around February 1991, and that gimmick was important because a few months later he resurfaced in the WWE as the corrupt taxman Irwin Shyster, also known as IRS. IRS was the vignettes were like him doing up this thing with the taxes, saying tax cheats and stuff like that, and he made it his debut in the spring of 1991. He grabbed the microphone and said, "You please better pay up. The IRS could freeze your bank account and sell your house if you don't pay your taxes." Great mid-card gimmick for Irwin, and he like through like the end of 1991, he was getting kind of a mid-card push into WWE. He was beating preliminary wrestlers. He actually had a match at SummerSlam 1991 against Greg the Hammer Valentine, and he won easily. And he also had a house show feud with the Big Boss Man and stuff. By the winter of 1992, Irwin Shyster formed the tag team with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and they were called Money Incorporated, and they won the World Tag Team Champions by beating the Legion of Doom at a house show in Denver, Colorado. And then IRS and the $1 Million Man got Jimmy Hart as their manager. Jimmy Hart was the manager of the Natural Disasters, who Earthquake and Typhoon, and they were number 1 contenders. But the storyline says one of the Legion of Doom was hurt, and for the interest of fairness, that Jimmy Hart maneuvered IRS and Ted DiBiase to that position, and they got the titles. And then it was revealed Jimmy Hart got dirty money, and then the Natural Disasters turned face, and they had a feud over the summer over the WWE Tag Team Championships. And Earthquake and Typhoon and Natural Disasters won at a TV tape in Worcester, Massachusetts in July of 1992, but that reign was about 2 months until IRS and Ted DiBiase won it back at a Wrestling Challenge TV taping in October, and then for the next 6 months, IRS and the $1 Million Man, Money Incorporated, dominated tag team championship division in the WWE. Was a great tag team. They beat several great teams like the Mega Maniac, Max, Hulk Hogan, and Bruce Beefcake at WrestleMania 9 co-main event. That was a good angle. Jimmy Hart turned face after like Money Inc. like smashed Beefcake's face, but he was okay because Beefcake had a parasailing accident. Once basically he had it not wrestle for a few years, and also the Beverly Brothers, the Nasty Boys. Finally, in June of 1993, the Money Inc. lost to the Steiner Brothers the WWE Tag Team Championships, and by the end of the summer, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase left the WWE, and IRS became back with a mid-card heel again, and and he went into feud with Razor Ramon over the Intercontinental title. IRS stole his gold with help with Shawn Michaels and Big Kid A. Cool. They had a match at Royal Rumble '94. Wow. And Shawn Michaels interfered, and IRS supposedly won the IC title, but the referee another referee reversed the decision, and Razor Ramon beat him up. And then Razor got his gold back at a Monday Night Raw TV taping a couple of weeks later when the IRS was guest commentating. Then IRS went into a feud with Tatanka over like a Indian headdress because he gave Tatanka a gift tax. Tatanka didn't want to pay for it, so they went into a mid-card feud at one of the TV superstar tapings. IRS destroys the headdress of the Native American Tatanka, and then they had a feud over the summer at the house show. By summer of '94, IRS joined the $1 Million Corporation with his former tag team partner, $1 Million Man, as his manager, and he kind of still had a mini push still. And by the fall of 1994, IRS started a feud with The Undertaker, and he attacked him at the Survivor Series, put him in a sleeper hole, and then IRS repossessed dead people's flowers and stuff and graves. This push, and also IRS brought Judas down to the ring when he was wrestling other wrestlers to promote their match for the build up the storyline for the Royal Rumble 1995, and then he got crushed by the Undertaker at Royal Rumble '95, but King Kong Bundy came down, and the IRS attacked Paul Bearer, and they stole the urn, and they repossessed the urn, and the $1 Million Corporation had it in their possession. But that was probably IRS's final big match in the WWE, and for the rest of 1995 through summer, IRS was being phased out of the WWE. He didn't appear on television too much, and by July 1995, IRS Irwin shyster left the WWE, and he returned to WCW as VK Wall Street and he said, in this thing is, the IRS will be looking up at me. VK is Vincent Kennedy, and it was a knock on Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the owner of the WWE. And for the rest of Mike Rotunda's career, he was basically stuck in mid-card matches. He didn't do anything of importance in WCW. He eventually joined the NWO when everybody was joining the NWO, but he didn't get any good pushes after that. He basically retired from the scene of wrestling by 1999 in the United States. He's had some tours of Japan, and officially he stopped wrestling full-time in 2004. Then he went into security guard business where he lives in Florida, and then afterwards he came back to the WWE in 2006 as a agent/producer, but once in a while Mike would reprise his role as IRS and in old school WWE stuff for Raw and SmackDown, and it's good. He was a great character and stuff like that, a long-lasting character, which he pops up once in a while for reunion shows. And Mike Rotunda is the father of Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt. And I thought the IRS gimmick was a very good gimmick for Mike Rotunda. It was a mid-card heel gimmick that actually lasted a long time. It still pops up once in a while, and it's a good for that, and that's his most famous gimmick, and it made him a decent amount of money. Well, I'll be back later for my third and final video blog of the night. Okay, bye now, Facebook friends and YouTube followers.